Hey there. So welcome to today's essential oil question and answer period. So if you're here with us today live, feel free to say, hey, where you're tuning in from. And for those who don't know me, let me introduce myself quickly. So my name is Jessie. I am an aromatherapy student. I started my program in 2019. That being said, where I am in my program, my certification program, I'm technically considered an aromatherapist. I can be a part of different kind of associations, but I'm continuing my certification because I want to have more advanced training, higher levels as my recognition as an aromatherapist. So that being said, I don't know everything. I still have a lot to learn, even if I was an aromatherapist for, 5, 10, 15 years. But I do believe there's a lot of things that I can share with you guys that I have different kind of knowledge, things I know. So I wanted to have these kind of question and answer periods. If anyone has questions, I would love to help you with any questions you have. So I've been compiling different kind of information from my Instagram story, which I'll be answering all these questions I have. If you happen to have any questions while you're live with us, feel free to ask them. So I'm actually going to put a quick banner there before I start and saying, feel free to ask any questions if you are here live with us. So the first question I have is, the essential oil I bought doesn't have a Latin binomial. Is this a red flag? Even if I bought it off of Amazon. So for those who don't know what Latin binomial is, I'm actually going to go through it with you right now. And I've explained this on my fake essential oils. So it's spotting fakes and finding legit oils playlist. I did a whole video series on how to spot fake essential oils. What are some red flags? What should you look for? All this sort of stuff, which I'll link down in the description below if you want to see it. And one of the main red flags was that the essential oil does not have a Latin binomial. A Latin binomial it's like the Latin name for the plant. So I'm going to pull out some essential oils for you guys. You'll see what I mean. I'm going to show you guys some examples. All right, so I have a few different brands I'm going to show you. So I have peppermint, for example. That is the regular name. I'm trying to see it so you guys can see it. At the bottom, there is a Latin name, a Latin binomial. You can see that for peppermint. Here with my plant therapy, you can see Roman chamomile. Sorry, it's not zooming in. You can see the regular name and then the Latin binomial underneath. There we go. So whenever you buy essential oils, there should be a Latin binomial. If there isn't, that is really, really highly concerning for me for so many reasons. One, I'm wondering if it actually is a real authentic essential oil. I have high suspicions it probably is fake. Something's not right. And secondly, there could be essential oils that have the same common name, such as lavender, that have different Latin names. Might be different sorts of species, and there might be different kind of safety considerations for each of those Latin names. So for me, huge red flag. If you see an essential oil that does not have a Latin binomial, don't get it. I would say I probably is fake in my opinion. Even I just wouldn't do it. And then the last part was, even if I bought it off of Amazon, if you guys have ever watched my whole spotting fakes and finding legits playlist, which I mentioned earlier, link in the description, I really recommend people do not buy essential oils on Amazon. As Dr. Robert S. Papa says, Scamazon, really not a good place to be buying essential oils. I mean, there are some reputable companies that do sell through Amazon. I know Plant Therapy does, but I really would not be buying through Amazon essential oils. Again, check out my playlist if you want to learn more. Next question I got was, what is the dilution percentage for above 60 milliliters to the max of 100 milliliters? So I did a whole playlist as well of just like short little Instagram lives I've done all about dilution. Why do we dilute? How do we dilute? And like how many drops do we do per whatever measurement? And a chart that I did recommend was this one right here. If you go to the roberttisserine.com or the Tisserine Institute, you can print this out. I laminated mine, and it's a really easy to read chart where you can say, oh, I have a 10 mil roller ball, right? So that's 10 mil over here, and I want to do a 5% dilution rate. You go up to the 5%, you can see it's 15 drops. So it does all the measuring for you. And the fact that this question says above 60 ml, I think she's probably using this sheet. Also, there's one mistake on this sheet, unfortunately. This should be 9 drops, not 8 drops. So what I would do is just to use the 50 ml and then double what it is, because 250 ml is 100 mils. So you really want to do the math. So if I want like a 3%, 100 mil, I would go 50 mil at 3% is 45. So then I'd be using 95. Or sorry, 90. It's 45 plus 45 is 90. And then I did in my playlist talk about which percentage rate you're going to be using. Like, do you use 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5, 10? I talk about that in the playlist as well. So I do encourage that if you are interested in knowing what the general recommendations are, that you check it out. I've also done lots of like reels and posts on different kind of dilution recommendations, because especially for children, there's different kind of percentages recommended. I did an Instagram post on it, and I can actually link it down in the description as well. So I'm going to write that down to myself. To Instagram, link down children recommended dilution rates, because I have a feeling people might ask. And this is for a 17-year-old that this person was asking for. So a 17 is considered adult. So I would just be following the adult guidelines. Next one, is there a difference between cinnamon leaf and cinnamon bark? So this person really likes to diffuse orange essential oil with cinnamon bark and was wondering, what about cinnamon leaf? So I'm going to bring out some resources as I explain, so that you guys know that you can use resources as well, and you could see how I would use them if I wasn't sure. So I'm actually using these safety files because for me, when I'm wondering the difference between oils, sometimes I like to look at the safety. So if we look at cinnamon bark and cinnamon leaf, we'll see that they have the same Latin name. What this means is that the essential oil of cinnamon bark and cinnamon leaf are from the same plant. However, they're from the different parts of the plant. So the leaf is from the oils of the leaf, and then for the bark, it's from the oils of the bark. So I don't know how technical to get, because I'm sure you just want a simple answer. In terms of smell, I've only used cinnamon bark, but I did a little bit of research last night, and it sounds like I've heard people say that they smell pretty similar. I've also read, which I have the tendency to believe more, is that cinnamon leaf smells more like clove, where cinnamon bark smells more like that spicy kind of cinnamon, more cinnamon rather than clove. And then, of course, there's different kind of safety considerations, which I'll go over pretty quickly, just reading straight from this book. And according to Leah Jacobson, which she takes her stuff from Robert Tisserand, cinnamon bark is safe for all ages to inhale and to use topically when properly diluted. Cinnamon leaf is safe for all ages to inhale and use topically when properly diluted. Safe for pregnancy, safe for breastfeeding, and then she says safe for dogs to inhale. Cinnamon bark has a topical max of 0.1, or I've also seen 0 or 0.1%. So you really want to be diluting a lot if you're using on your skin, whereas cinnamon leaf has a higher topical max. So you'd be wanting to dilute it to 0.6% maximum, which is not a lot of leeway, to be honest. But this person's not using it on their skin, but I thought maybe other people might be interested. Yeah, cinnamon bark is not recommended during pregnancy. Cinnamon leaf, according to Leah Jacobson, is, but then if you look at Plant Therapy's website, it says no for both of them, which is quite interesting. And then there's just other kind of safety considerations in terms of like drug interactions if you use them internally. And yeah, it's pretty good. I'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, let me know. I didn't go into too much detail. I don't want to get too boring with the logistics of the differences. Okay, next one. I saw a recipe for a toner using 100 milliliters of rose water and 2 drops of your preferred essential oil. What are your thoughts? So I'm assuming 100 milliliters of rose water. The person might mean a rose hydrosol. I think that's probably the best thing to be using, I'd imagine, like in an aromatherapy setting. So just going over some basics. When you're using essential oils on your skin, I recommend always diluting it, unless you have a solid good reason and it's, occasionally you have a really good reason. But I would say dilute the essential oils before putting on your skin. In my dilution playlist, which again, I link down below, I talk about to dilute essential oil, you want to mix it with something like a carrier oil or a unscented natural lotion. It does not mix readily with water. So if you're putting hydrosol, rose hydrosol or rose water and mixing essential oils, the essential oils aren't really mixing with the water. I mean, I guess you could shake it and then it kind of gets smaller, but it doesn't actually mix, and then spritz it on your face. For me, it's not really what I'd be recommending, just because you're risking meat usage of essential oils. You can use the hydrosol if you have like a rose hydrosol, using it as a toner itself. That could be a really good option. Or using like a serum that already has like carrier oil and your favorite essential oil, so it's properly diluted, properly mixed. That would be what I'd be going for if I was doing it. Okay, and this next question, I was like, oh, should I actually be sharing this? But should you wear gloves when cleaning with essential oils? It's funny you ask this, because I'm like, I've asked people this question as well, and I feel I get a lot of mixed answers. So I'm going to share with you just some things to consider. For me, I know I don't always use gloves in general when I do cleaning, even when I have used harsher products when I probably should have. So I'm not really the best to be giving advice on that. But when it comes to essential oils, questions I'd be asking myself if I was considering wearing gloves or not would be, is it properly diluted? If it is pretty diluted and it's properly, it's not really a high risk, I would be less likely to use gloves. However, if there's essential oils that aren't properly diluted, or I know I risk having neat usage of essential oils undiluted, or there's a lot of harsher essential oils that could be possibly irritating, a lot of cinnamon, or I know doTERRA came out with their Abode line, their new cleaning line, and a lot of the essential oils in it are pretty potential skin irritants. They're really powerful in terms of cleaning, disinfecting and stuff like that, but they're really a lot of skin irritating potential. So in that case, I'd probably be more likely to use gloves if I were prone to use gloves. I've also heard people ask, well, what about using oxidized oils? Because a lot of times people will say, oh, when your essential oils go bad, when they're past their shelf life, they'll oxidize. So you're not supposed to be using them on your skin. Maybe you can use them in cleaning. I've heard a lot of people say that. If I was using and working with oxidized oils, I'd be using gloves, just because with oxidized oils or oils that are past date, there's a higher risk of developing adverse skin reactions or sensitizations. Not with all essential oils, but a lot of essential oils like, tea tree, lemon, a lot of the citrus oils and whatnot. If I'd be cleaning with them, I would definitely be using gloves if they were oxidized or past date. But other than that, I feel like it's a pretty subjective question, but those are the things I'd be considering. Next one is, what is your favorite holiday or fall blend? It can be singles or synergies. Synergies meaning a blend of different essential oils. So confession here, 2 confessions. I'm not much of a blends person. I'm trying to get into it. And also I'm not much of a festive person, which I'm trying to get into to really, start to enjoy the seasons of life and stuff like that. But during fall time, I like to reach for cardamom. Cardamom's a really nice fall warm oil. And cinnamon, clove when I have it, clove and orange, cinnamon and orange. I'm hoping to be getting vanilla soon, so I'm really excited for Christmas time to have vanilla and cinnamon, vanilla and orange, cinnamon. Tree oils like black spruce is kind of nice as well. But yeah, that's kind of what I go for. And also with doTERRA, I've used their Holiday Joy. It's a really nice, it's more Christmas time, but that's a good one too. And that's the end of our questions. So if you have any other questions, feel free to write them down. But yeah, feel free to check out my favorite stuff down below in the description. Also, I have links to the different playlists, the playlist to online dilution, where I have my Instagram lives that I reposted, and also my playlist on how to spot fake essential oils, and also tips on finding legit essential oils, a whole video series dedicated to help you better spot fakes and find legits. So it looks like we don't have any questions. So I hope you guys found some of this helpful, and take care, and bye-bye.